Okay, so we've talked about a few good principles, good test principles that it's useful to follow, that will help us keep our tests in a maintainable and runnable state. It's also worth talking about a few anti-patterns, so a few things that are worth avoiding when writing tests and when doing test-driven development. These are a few things to look out for in your test code and in your application code, that if left unchecked are probably going to cause your tests to become less useful over time or harder to work with as time goes on. So, firstly, the singleton. And the singleton is bad, especially for testing, for a couple of reasons. One of which is typically you're not in control of the instantiation. So, by definition, there is only one of them. And this is created typically the first time it's used. So, none of the client code is in control of that instantiation. And by definition, singletons are all about retaining state over time. And this is bad in a test situation because you want your tests to be isolated, to not depend on that state that was created in a previous test. Your test should be self-contained, only depending on the state that was explicitly set up for that particular test. Also, it's very easy just to introduce code in a singleton without really thinking about where it should go in the system. So this leads to systems with poor design, with poor separation of responsibilities, which again makes it really hard to test. You'll also quite often find where singletons are used, then calls to these singletons will just be scattered throughout the system. It can often be difficult to track down the dependencies of a singleton, work out exactly where they're used and exactly what they're being used for. It may be that a singleton should be replaced with a single interface, or perhaps even multiple interfaces instead. And this will make it a lot easier to inject test tuples into the system, and to clearly set out how those classes interact with the class that was a singleton.